Welcome to Full Scope, a podcast designed to analyze the games that we love, the talents and music, and the movies we can't forget. I'm host Winter Burns, and I'm joined by a special guest, Dr. Adam Blood, obviously president of the Kansas City Chiefs fan club. We'll have him back on next year when they have their revenge tour season. But thank you so much for being on for the Departed review, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, and thanks for bringing that memory up. I've
Sorry,
been
I'm sorry.
repressing it since.
I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, hey, revenge tour is loading though. Revenge tour is loading.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Definitely. We're doing an exclusive review of The Departed, and to start off with the overview, with The Departed is a 2006 crime thriller film directed by Martin Scorsese and written by William Monahan. It's both an English language remake of the 2002 Hong Kong film Internal Affairs, and the character Colin Sullivan is based on the corrupt FBI agent John Connolly, while the character Frank Costello based on Irish American gangster and crime boss Woody Burglar. The film stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, and Mark Wahlberg, with Martin Sheen, Ray Winston, Alec Baldwin, Anthony Anderson, James Badge Dale. Just like a stacked cast, a completely stacked
Yeah.
cast. 91% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And man, this also had a budget of. Let me look. It had a. I forget what was the. It had a budget of 90 million and brought in 291.5 million in the box office. But man, this was one of my favorite movies. It's so rewatchable. Obviously, having Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon as the top two is just it's incredible to have those guys. Like I told somebody it's almost like having um Kobe, God rest his soul, Kobe and LeBron in the finals because it was just like two guys just going back and forth. And especially in that final scene. But what were your initial thoughts like when you first saw the movie, and even like when you recently watched it? Like, what did you like initially think when you saw this film?
So I think if I remember, I think I remember going to see it in theaters in 2007. Because it was a 2006 movie, but I think it was running 2006, 2007. And I just I had forgotten the kind of the thing that either people love or people really don't like about Martin Scorsese is the length of his movies.
Yes.
And but it's just so captivating that it had occurred to me that I was like, wow, I've been in the movie theater for 2.5 hours, but I'm so enthralled. And I think if I'm remembering, because sometimes your movie going experiences will overlap. I think I went to like a matinee, and there's that really jarring experience of you go see a movie and the sun's out when you walk into the movie theater and it's dark when you get out.
Oh man, it's the best feeling. I
I
love that feeling.
Yeah, I love that feeling. It's just like, what day is it? What time is it? But I think I remember that, and I just remember like it was just so it draws you in. And I think one of the magic of cinema is the kind of escapism that you get. And I think that it was I think Scorsese's I don't think it's Scorsese's best movie.
Oh, we're gonna get to
But
that what we actually think it is.
but I think, yeah, I think it's the one that holds you the most. I would say that, like, it may not be Scorsese's best movie,
Right.
but I do think it's the movie that would be most accessible to like non-Scorsese
Oh
fans,
yeah, for
right?
sure.
So,
I
you
mean, like
know,
even like my mom who doesn't really like she'll watch The Departed more than she'll watch Casino.
yeah,
Like it's just like I can watch. It's an easy watch. It's kind of an easy watch. It's not like one of those like oh my gosh like Taxi Driver. It's like long, like just very methodical. I think this one is like it's almost like he's quick with it. He's really quick with the scenes, and it's just like it just goes fast paced almost.
yeah, I think so. And I think the kind of cool thing about it is it's so rewatchable, because it paces really well, character building scenes with plot movement and action scenes and stuff like that. Like it moves so well that it's one of those movies that, like, if and not that many people watch movies on like cable TV anymore, but
I love doing
it's
that
one of those.
honestly.
Well, it's one of those movies that it was like, because from the 2010s and stuff like that, that was still a main way of watching a lot of movies, is they just happen to be on TV. And that's one of those ones that will just take a Saturday afternoon from you,
Oh my
because,
goodness.
like,
Yeah. If
you're
if
like,
you do it, you're gonna from 4, you're not gonna get up from the couch from 7 until 7. Like you're
yeah,
done.
yeah.
Yeah. Who to you like I before we get to our first topic, DiCaprio and Matt Damon, which guy when you watched this recently were you like more impressed with? Because I know they both had great performances, but was there one guy you were more impressed with?
I was quite a bit more impressed with Leonardo DiCaprio in this
Same.
movie.
Same.
Like, I think Matt Damon. played his character well. I think that Leonardo DiCaprio made Costigan more three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Some of that I think is just sort of the character development, and like I think the thing that Leonardo DiCaprio had going for him in playing that character is being the police officer integrating organized crime. He's faced with more moral dilemma than Matt Damon is. So like I think that sets up a little bit better his character development and how he move and how his character operates and is changed by the plot. I think Leonardo DiCaprio's character is more different by the end of the film
Oh
than
yeah.
Matt Damon's is, you know.
He goes to
So
a whole it's like it's almost like who is this guy? It's like a whole transformation. It's just like this is a completely different guy from when it starts to when it ends. Matt Damon, it's like, okay, he was a young guy who got caught up in the mob life and he's the mole and you know where he's going. But Leonardo DiCaprio's like, whoa, I didn't expect him to go to like where he went. It's just like it was so drastic of a change. I think that's what to me that's what was the fascinating part of Leonardo DiCaprio's role, just how drastic of a change he went through.
yeah, and I think and I don't want it to say that I think that like Leonardo did a much better acting performance. I just
Right.
think that that character had more of a plot arc built into the film. So I think that that's kind of the way it goes. It'd be
Yeah.
interesting to see if the roles were reversed.
I was just gonna say that I don't think mm, I don't know if DiCaprio could have done what Damon like it, it's tough because it's just like I think Matt Damon was playing a flashier role, obviously. He was just like, okay, yeah, I'm the it guy, this and that. And DiCaprio was more so like the gritty, like I am going through the mud to get to where I gotta get to. And it's just like you saw two different like you know, Damon's the golden boy in the film, and DiCaprio's kind of like the, oh, you're not supposed, even though he's smart, it's like, oh, you're not supposed to be a cop. You're not supposed to do this. Like, you're not like when Mark Wahlberg was villains, like, you're not supposed to actually do this. Like, this is not your life. And it's just like, it was true. It was
Yeah.
absolutely true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And then also since you mentioned him, every scene with Mark Wahlberg is the scene, right? Like
He's
I
he's
think that
yeah he's pitching man he's on his fastball he's pitching a fastball like everyone like
yeah, I mean, you got to think like the ratio of how much foul language per lines delivered in the movie. Like, you know, Martin Scorsese has never shied away from being gritty and stuff like that. And I think Mark Wahlberg was just eating it up. So, I
yes
mean,
man.
you know,
For sure, definitely. Well, I want to get to our first topic from 1 to 4 stars. What would you give it? I would go with 4 because I think overall it's one of the best crime dramas ever. Honestly, I think the pacing, the acting, the writing, it's all meshed in one, and it's rewatchable. It already has that rewatchable factor, and I think the casting is just like sometimes you can have big cast and they don't work, and it's just like it's too much. This cast, like I think Scorsese has rarely missed on the cast, and I think this one is like no exception to the rule. From 1 to 4 stars, kind of like what would be your particular rating and some of your reasons for it?
I would say like if you're comparing it to all movies ever, it's got to be in the 4 star, you know, the four a scale of 1 to 4, it's got to be 4. I would say if it's just a scale of Scorsese movies,
Oh yeah, that's different. That's
um
different. Yeah,
I would put it I'd put it would be the 3 point something
exactly. Yeah,
if I'm grading, you know,
yeah.
professor.
If we're getting nitpicky for like Scorsese movies, because that's a different level of art. That's a different arc in terms of just like grading it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I would put it above. I would say like my note for if I'm ranking Scorsese movies, I would put Goodfellas at the top. And then right beneath that would probably be The Departed, and then tied for third for me, this might be first hot take territory. Tied for third would probably be Casino and Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, Wolf of Wall Street is so
So
good. Wolf of Wall Street is so
yeah.
good. It's so
Well,
good.
and I think it's also, you know, if you watch enough Scorsese movies, especially, you know, the ones that kind of put him on the ones that kind of put him on the map,
Mhm.
it's very clearly that there are Scorsese actors, and you know, it says something that like he's gone back to the well with Leonardo DiCaprio the way he used to with De Niro and Joe Pesci and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm Matt Adam is already recruited on in June, late May or June. I got to do a Goodfellas episode because he's already on for my Goodfellas review, and I because it's one of the greatest, if not, it's one of the greatest movies ever. It's just so like the like so many scenes in it. It's just like it's the one movie where I'm like, it's probably the most quotable movie of his like entire catalog because everybody knows um I'm funny how the I'm funny how scene, Karen,
Oh
like it's
yeah.
just so many like Goodfellas is it's a classic.
Well,
It's a complete classic.
and I think that like Scorsese in like the Goodfellas, Casino, those movies, he uses every ounce of Joe Pesci, and I really
It's,
like
it's
that, right?
amazing.
Like you're right, like and because Joe Pesci, I mean, most people would know him from the Home Alone movies,
Hmm.
and his character in the Home Alone movies, it's a family comedy, so it's a little bit one dimensional.
Yeah.
But like Joe Pesci in those movies is just the pesciest he can be, just
I love
is,
that the best is.
and so yeah, I think and I really like what Scorsese brings out of actors,
Yeah.
and I think he has a good ability to let actors be
Be
themselves, but
themselves, yeah.
also push them.
Hmm.
Like I think there's a lot of actors who, owe some of their best performances to
To him.
Scorsese
Yeah,
and his gift of storytelling.
for sure. I think Taxi Driver is arguably Robert De Niro's best performance, possibly in his career. I'm a
Yeah.
big Taxi Driver fan, and I got there's some other movies I would say like um are better because I don't know if you ever watch Heat. Heat with
Yeah,
yeah, to me like that's my all time favorite movie ever. Honestly, my personal all time favorite movie because I'm a big Michael Mann fan. I think Michael Mann is
sure.
one of the greatest greatest directors ever. And it's just like one of the great listeners, if you watch that shootout scene, it's the greatest shootout I've ever seen in a movie. I rewatched it this morning, 6 minutes on Twitter, and I was like, oh my God, like spectacle. Like it's a spectacle to me. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Heat? Have you do you have any takes on Heat?
I like Heat, especially in the sense that I think it's Al Pacino kind of at his best.
I love
And
it.
then
Getting died from walking
I
your doggy.
yeah, I really liked the juxtaposition of De Niro and Al Pacino.
Yeah,
Because I think that Robert De Niro sometimes, like, if there is anything to be said about Robert De Niro, like he goes for sometimes a little too much subdued subtlety in his
that's what I was
characters.
gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Al Pacino, his tendency is to go the opposite direction. Like,
That's what I'm. It's the contrast. It's like Pacino was like at like 500. Like he had like 5 shots of espresso because he even said like his character was on coke in the movie. Like he even said it. Like Al Pacino
yeah,
even admitted like he I can tell like you don't have to commit like he was high, but De Niro is just so laid back and just measured. Like even like I'm thinking about the diner scene with him and Edie, and she's like,
mhm,
hey, like what are you reading? He's like, why do you care about what I do? Like, he just was so like, just leave me alone. And Pacino's like totally different.
yeah. Which
Absolutely.
I mean, I think it's awesome that only a few minutes into a podcast about a crime movie, we've already run the gamut
See, that's what I'm
of
saying. We've
De
like
Niro,
gone.
Pacino, Joe
Our
Pesci.
Goodfellas episode might go like an hour and a half with how we're going. It's hilarious. But getting to our next topic, favorite character, Costigan. I'm gonna go with him because I mean I think DiCaprio is just so it's just he's so like pensive and he's searching throughout the entire film. He's just searching for like, hey, like what's going on? Like, um, I gotta bring this guy down. And then like that scene where he like literally sees, oh, this is the guy. Like this is the mole. I
Oh yeah.
that was incredible. But to you overall, who was your favorite character?
Um, I'm a huge Jack Nicholson guy.
Oh, he killed it. Yeah,
So one of my favorite movies is A Few Good Men. And I
love it.
think I think that's an A movie that becomes an A plus because of Jack Nicholson's performance in that movie. I mean, everyone remembers the "You Can't Handle the Truth" monologue from A Few Good Men, and I just think like Jack Nicholson, from everything I've read about like the side behind the scenes stuff about movies Jack Nicholson does, he takes his work seriously, but he doesn't take himself seriously. And I think that allows him to kind of go off in some of these characters. And I mean, the opening monologue of The Departed, and Scorsese loves his opening monologues, right? Like it's kind of a staple of
Ever
Scorsese.
since I was a kid, I wanted to be a gangster. Like
Yeah,
that's just like boom, there we go.
yeah. Well, and it's just it's one of those like you could just watch that monologue and
Yeah.
get a feel for the movie, and it takes you right in. And the thing that I like most about The Departed is that it looks at the anti-hero from several different angles, right?
Mhm.
So and from some of the stuff I've read about like anti-heroes is that there has to be something about an anti-hero character. There's got to be a part of them that you don't like that makes them flawed, but there's also got to be something about them that is aspirational, even if the character is outright despicable, right?
Yeah.
That like, and in that opening monologue, you understand how Nicholson's character thinks, even if you don't agree with his reasoning, but also that like he's formidable,
Mhm.
capable, and all of those things. And it's just I think Nicholson's great throughout. He does enough weird Nicholson stuff, at various times that it makes it work. Like when he does that scene where he's talking to Leonardo DiCaprio about asking him if he's the rat, and he's
Oh
doing
my
rat
goodness. Yeah.
faces, and it's just like no other actor would get away with that
At
in
all.
that, and I don't think anyone would try, and so I think Nicholson is just the driving force of the movie, and I think you can kind of tell from some of the scenes that it seems like other actors in the movie brought their A game because they were opposite
For sure.
Nicholson in that movie,
He
and just some of
demands
his.
so much. He demands so much out of the other actors. It's like you want to step it up. He's just like he's still doing this at his age. Like I want to step it up because like he's one of the greats.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so um I looked up, I was like, apparently there was a movie, and I can't even remember the name of it, but like this, getting ready for this and rewatching The Departed, I was like, did De Niro and Nicholson ever make a movie together? And apparently they did in like 1976, and I haven't seen the film.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah, so and I'm drawing a blank on the name of the movie, but that would be kind of interesting because those
Yeah.
those two guys are so similar in what they do with characters, but also so dramatically different.
Oh, for sure.
And just just some of the best lines in The Departed are Nicholson.
So
Just
good, man.
you know the you're either a criminal or a cop, and when you're looking in the barrel of the gun, what's the difference? Or just the when I tell you to dump them in the mosh, you dump them in the mosh, right? That like now I will say the one kind of criticism you could do about The Departed is that there are several scenes where the Boston accent is kind of optional. Uh, so
It's yeah, it's hit or miss for sure. It's definitely hit or miss with some of them. I want to get into most memorable scenes. Some of the ones I had was obviously the elevator scene, cranberry juice, heavy lies the crown, how I feel, the two pills, obviously the bar scene, Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg, the confrontation. This will change, and then I think the movie scene for sure when Matt Damon is in there looking for like who's setting him up, who's the guy who's tracking him. What was kind of like your memorable, or maybe like a couple scenes that kind of like stand out for you overall in this film?
So I think the elevator scene, because it's for one just the number of characters who die in that scene. Um, you know,
It's just like
for
boom,
anyone
boom,
that
boom.
yeah,
It's like what?
and and for anyone listening, sorry for
Yes.
spoilers, but the
Hey,
movie came out in
you gotta watch
2007.
it.
And so and then but I really think the most underrated scene is the cell phone scene
Oh man,
where
yes.
Queenan had just been thrown off the roof, and the phone rings, and I think DiCaprio plays up that tension just perfectly.
And
And
they're
then
like,
there's and then he calls him back, and there's the scene where it's two shots, and they're both just silent, holding the phones to their face. It's one of those like
it's
I
palpable. The
remember.
tension is so like palpable. Yeah,
Yeah, and so it sets up everything that follows really nicely, and I think that's probably one of the better climaxes of a movie, right? Because I think it's the point of no return, and these two guys have been looking for each other the whole time, and it's so much tension. Um, you know,
so
uh,
good.
I love that scene so much. And the way they even pan in on like their faces and stuff like that, like the camera work in that scene
That's what I'm
is
saying.
just
The camera
magic.
work is just exceptional. Like it captures the moment and makes the moment even more intense for the viewer. It makes the moment just so much more intense, which is just is what Scorsese does best. Like you get the full package when it comes to Scorsese. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.